to discuss James Clear and the origins of atomic habits, I'll use a discovery journey format, the life-changing injury. The story doesn't start with a laboratory. It starts with a baseball bat. In high school, James Clear was struck in the face by a loose bat, causing catastrophic injuries, fractured skull, broken eye sockets, and a brain that shifted in a skull. He was placed in a medically induced coma. When he finally returned to the baseball field a year later, he was no longer a star player. He was a bench warmer who had lost his physical coordination. To get his life back, he couldn't make big changes. He was too weak. He had to start with the micro improvements, like going to bed early or practicing one small movement at a time. Where should we go next? The college turnaround. How he went from the bench to an academic All-American using these tiny habits. The scientist's pace. How he became obsessed, testing these ideas with biology and psychology. The architecture of the book. James Clear didn't just invent these ideas, he synthesized them. He calls himself a distiller. He spent years writing a newsletter, testing which habits stuck for his readers. So he looked at in biology, how dopamine drives our cravings. In environment, why do we eat cookies just because they are on the counter? And last, identity. Why saying I am a runner is more powerful than saying I want to run.
What if I told you that your life 5 years from now is being shaped by what you do today? Not by one big decision, not by one life-changing moment, but by tiny habits you barely notice. That's the core idea of Atomic Habits by James Clear. So before we talk about the 4 laws, we need to understand the basics, the foundation of the book. Small habits create big results. James Clear shares his personal story. When he was in high school, he was hit in the face with a baseball bat. He had serious injuries. He even went into a coma. His life changed overnight. His baseball career almost ended. But he didn't recover because of one big action. He focused on small habits. He slept earlier. He studied better. He trained a little every day. He improved slowly. These were small actions, but over time, they changed his life. Years later, he became one of the top athletes in his school. Not because of one big comeback, but because of small habits repeated every day. The power of 1%. Here's a simple idea. If you get 1% better every day for 1 year, you will become much better than before. But if you get 1% worse every day, your life slowly gets worse. Small changes don't look important in one day, but after months or years, they create a huge difference. Habits are more powerful because they grow over time.
That's quite big. Impressive.
Why people quit too early?
Why?
Imagine an ice cube in a cold room. You slowly increase the temperature. 25 degrees, nothing happens. 26, still nothing. And 31, still frozen. But at 32 degrees, the ice melts. The melting didn't happen because of 1 degree. It happened because of all the small increases before it. This is why many people quit too early. They don't see result right away, but progress is happening, even if you can see it yet.
Access eh.
Dito, step by the step pala.
Oo.
Bago ka sumakses. Pero yung na-imagine mo, biglang kang sumakses.
Now, let's talk about the goals versus systems. Most people focus on goals. I want good grades. I want to lose weight. I want to be successful. But having a goal is not enough. Many people have the same goals. What makes the difference is your system. A goal is what you want. A system is what you do every day. If your daily habits are good, your results will improve. As the book says, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So, if your daily routine is weak, your results will also be weak. Now, let's talk about the last one, the identity, which is the most important idea. The most important idea in the fundamentals is this. Real change starts with identity. So instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to be. When you study, even if you're tired, you are proving you are disciplined. When you exercise, you are proving you are healthy. And when you keep your promises, you are proving you are responsible. So, your habits shape who you are, and who you believe you are shapes your habits. So, before we talk about the first law, remember this. Small habits matter. Results take time. Your daily system is more important than your goals. And every action shapes your identity. Your future is built by what you repeat every day. So, the real question is not, what do I want to achieve? The real question is, who do I want to become?
Every day, you become someone else. Not in one decision, not in one breakthrough, but in the small action you barely notice. Most people wait for motivation, a spark, a sign. But the one who changed their lives changed something else. They changed what they see. The man who didn't look right. In Atomic Habits, James Clear explains that every habit begins with a cue. A cue is a trigger, a signal that predicts a reward. When your phone lights up, it becomes a cue. You then consciously decide to check it. You respond automatically. The cue triggers a cravings. A cravings motivate a response. The response delivers a reward. And over time, the loop becomes automatic. We often think habits are about self-control, but they are mostly about visibility. You eat what is visible. You repeat what is obvious. That is why the first law of behavior change is simple. If you want to build a good habit, increase the visibility of the cue. Place the book on your pillow. Put the water bottle on your desk. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. And if you want to break a bad habit, reduce the visibility, hide the cue, and remove the trigger. Environment is the invincible hand that shapes behavior. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system.
People say, I need to study more. But in Atomic Habits, James Clear explains that the fake goals don't create habits, clarity does. I'll study at 7 p.m. at my desk. This is called implementation intention. Instead of saying I'll study later, you decide the exact time and place. When the time and locations are clear, the cue becomes obvious. You don't debate with yourself. The environment reminds you. This is a new habit stacking. You attach a new habit to an existing one. After dinner, study, the old habit becomes the cue for the new one. The most powerful shape is the environment design. If your phone is visible, distraction is obvious. If your notebook is open, studying is obvious. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your system. The best way to start a new habit is not by force. It is to remove uncertainty, make it specific, make it visible. Motivation is overrated. Environment matters more. Person scrolling at night saying, I'll wake up early. Most people believe they need more motivation. It is driven by the cues. If your alarm is within arm's reach, the obvious action is to snooze. The environment makes the decision for you. But the move, the alarm across, now standing up becomes unavoidable. The cue has changed. Light becomes the cue. Standing becomes the response. Alertness becomes the reward. You didn't become more disciplined. You redesign the environment. Motivation fluctuates. Environment remains. When distractions are invincible, focus becomes sincere. When cues are obvious, action becomes automatic. Motivation is temporary, but the environment is structural. The best way to start a habit is not by push harder, it is to make the right action obvious.
The secret to self-control is not willpower. If it was, you already be disciplined by now. The truth, the self-control is environmental. If your phone is next to you, you will scroll. If junk food is in your room, you will eat it. That's not weaknesses. That's a design, a pattern to interrupt the changes of your angle or behavior. The most disciplined people don't fight temptation. They remove it. Make a bad habit hard. Make a good habit easy. That's it. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your system. So stop trying to become a stronger. Start designing your environment. The secret to self-control is controlling what controls you. Pick your room, pick your habit.
You promised yourself you'd study. But Netflix said, just one more episode. Let's be honest. Nobody quits bad habits. They just replace them with better ones. Just like what James Clear said. If a habit isn't attractive, you will not do it. Now, you don't skip studying because you're lazy. You skip it because TikTok is more fun. Because your brain chooses dopamine every time. So that is what chapter 8 teaches us. To make your habits irresistible. Not scary, not boring, but irresistible. Now there is this called temptation bundling, which basically means do something boring while doing something fun. Like studying while listening to your favorite music, or doing exercise while watching your favorite series. Slowly, your brain connects productivity with pleasure. The habit becomes easier, the resistance disappears, but attraction doesn't only come from rewards. It also comes from people. We naturally copy the habits of those around us. If your friends cram, you cram. If your circle is focused on growth, you grow. Because humans don't just follow habits, they follow identity.
Chapter 11. To walk slowly but never backwards. These two, motion and action, says that if we want to build a habit that we desire, we need to do more action rather than motion. Motion is just planning. It feels productive, but it does not produce results. Action, however, is the one that produces it. Just thinking of setting the perfect routine every day are just motion. But actually doing it, even if the routine isn't perfect, is the one that produces the habit. Through repetition over time, it gets naturally easy. According to the book, people who take 100 photos have a better result compared to the people who only tried to take one perfect photo. It is not perfection, but it is repetition that makes a habit or the results we wanted. The Law of Least Effort, Chapter 12. Humans naturally follow the law of least effort. We choose the option that requires the least amount of energy. So instead of relying on motivation or willpower, you redesign your environment so the good habit becomes the easiest option available. For example, cleaning your room table and hibernating destructive apps on your phone, you're less likely to doom scroll or get tempted to play games, and you will more likely to study for an exam. Make good habits obvious and convenient, and make bad habits inconvenient and annoying. Chapter 13. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule.
When starting a new habit, make it less than 2 minutes. The goal is not the outcome itself, but mastering the habit of showing up. For example, instead of saying, I want to read a book, just say to yourself, just one page of that book. Focus on small, 2-minute action to build consistency. The real power is in showing up repeatedly than big achievements. For big achievements follow naturally. Chapter 14. Making good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. This is like chapter 12 but inverted. Make bad habits unattractive and difficult to access. For example, imagine your mind is a castle and every subject you study is a room. Some rooms are messy and full of distraction. We call that bad habits. While others are organized and bright. We call that good habits. If you want to learn efficiently, you lock the doors to the messy room. And we call that commitment devices. And set up a self-cleaning system in the bright rooms. Now that's automation. You place your books and notes on the desk where you sit every day. That we call environment design. And you pair studying with something enjoyable like your favorite tea or music. That's temptation bundling. Over time, entering the bright rooms becomes automatic. You don't have to force yourself to the messy room because the messy rooms stay locked unless you put an extra effort to unlock those bad habits. Learning happens naturally. Distractions fade away.
Have you ever been into this type of situation? You know the feeling. You just spend hours in doing important tasks such as school activities. I mean, great job for accomplishing it, but you feel it. Sudden rush, increasing. Yeah, it's the one responsible for telling you to reward yourself. So maybe you pick up your phone, hop on a computer, scroll some TikTok videos, or play some games. Anything you can imagine as long as you can call it a reward. I mean, you earn it, right? You work hard after all. I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with that. Ah, yes. That feeling of relief. The sudden urge to reward yourself. That what make us weak. But don't worry. Gratitude is not a bad thing. It's just on how we use it. So, I'm gonna show you how to exploit these things. This is basically the coverage of fourth law, also known as make it satisfying. Now, let's dive deeper into the fourth law of atomic habits. So, fourth law contains 3 chapters, which will be discussed one by one, and I will try to do my best to summarize it for you. In chapter 15, James Clear exposes the biggest flaw in your operating system, and that flaw is called time inconsistency. Your brain basically values the present more than the future. James Clear also stated that the cause of your good habits are in the present. The cause of your bad habits are in the future. This is why we overthink. You are weighting immediate pain against future reward, and the brain always chooses to avoid that pain. Always remember that what is immediately rewarded is repeated. So human beings love it when they are rewarded immediately. So in order to exploit this, we should change our mindset. Always remember that the reward isn't the outcome, but the silence of your action. For instance, imagine yourself reviewing for exam. You do it to pass, right? Passing is the outcome and there's no immediate reward, so why not think of it in a different way? How about you choose studying itself as the reward? To save you from anxiety, stress, procrastination. Actually, there's a lot of reason you can think of. The only problem is, can you pull it off? So before we start the next chapter, ask yourself, are you consistent? And no, I'm not talking about your TikTok streaks, your M7 pass. Well, you got the idea. What I'm specifically referring to is the good habits. So some of you might ask, why bother asking if you're consistent or not? Well, in chapter 16, James Clear introduced a weapon.
What?
Not this one, but this one. Yes, the habit tracker. The book simply states that we don't break the chain. Your only goal is not to kill the streak. Imagine yourself, you're about to do some tremendous tasks. Maybe business research, feasibility studies, and sometimes we ask ourselves, do I feel motivated about doing this stuff? Do I need an inspiration to keep going? Then again, whether you find an inspiration or motivation, the activity will not finish itself. So here's the fun fact for you. That chain does not care. It really doesn't matter if you want to do it today or do it tomorrow. The chain doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares when you actually
Do it! Just do it!
So according to Atomic Habits, we should never miss twice. Missing once can be an accident, but missing twice is the start of a new, lazy identity. Maybe, starting now, you should see things differently. If you do something, don't make it look like a chores. Change your mindset. Do it to protect the streak. Because according to the Atomic Habits, the longer you do something, the eager we want to protect that streak. And only then, you can build a good, consistent habit. In the last chapter of Fourth Law, James Clear stated that when there's no immediate consequences, we're unlikely to do that particular things. Imagine yourself waking up at 6 a.m., alarm is buzzing, and you refuse to wake up. So maybe your friends or your family throws you a cold water directly to your face. And you wake up gasping, shocked. What did just happen? So, will you do the same? Now that you are aware, someone will throw a cold water in your face when you refuse to wake up. To understand further, when you are sleeping in your home and your alarm starts buzzing, you are most likely to hit snooze. Why? Because there is no immediate consequences that could happen. So to put it in the practice, maybe ask your friend and bet some money. You can wake up early every day, you go to gym every day, study every day, anything in particular as long as it's a good habits. And then, if one of you broke the rules, the winner will immediately take the money. So you see, there is an immediate consequences when procrastination has now a cause. And that's why accountability is now your friend. You don't wanna lose your money easily just like that after all. So you compete until you don't notice. You suddenly become consistent. And hey, it's the small habits that could change you after all.